Buongiorno, and welcome to the Italian American radio show and podcast. Whether you're sipping an espresso, indulging in a plate of pasta, or just tuning in from your favorite pizzeria, we're here to bring you the flavors, traditions, and stories that make up the heart of the Italian American experience. From the bustling streets of Little Italy to the family kitchens where recipes are passed down through generations, we'll explore it all. So grab a canoe, settle in, and let's embark on this delightful journey together. In each episode, we'll feature interviews with fascinating guests, share authentic recipes, and dive into the history that shaped the Italian American community. But most importantly, we want to hear from you. Call in, share your stories, and let's create a community that celebrates the essence of La Dolce Vita. You can also catch our podcast episodes for a taste of Italy wherever you are. So whether you're Nana's favorite or just discovering your roots, get ready for a radio experience that's amore. Right here on the Italian American radio show and podcast. Andiamo! Stay tuned for an hour of cultural delights coming your way on the Italian American radio show and podcast.
We're on. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Fran Sullivan with the Italian American Radio Show and Podcast. I hope you've had a nice weekend so far. I hope it was lucrative, magical. Lucrative, I mean money. Magical, I mean just a lot of fun. Uh, just a nice weekend. It's been very hot. Today seems like going to be a nice day, 100 degrees, which people think that's crazy. But after it's 110 or 109 for 3 or 4 days, 100's really, really like real summer. But hopefully we'll live through this and we won't have some of the summers like we've had in the past, which were just insanity. But we have a celebrity in town today, big time celebrity, big audience, big audience. I don't know how much he's going to get here, but probably a lot. Uh, but Mr. Trump is in town, and he's down at Sunset Park. And if you haven't went to any of his uh, little talkathons, sometimes they're small, sometimes they're medium, sometimes they're super large, but they're always exciting. And even if you go down, to take some pictures of his plane, it's usually a one-time thing. You'll have it. It's history, and really what it is. It's history to have somebody like that in town, and he is running for president, and he was the president. So it's something to do if you're not doing anything today. Just I suggest you uh, don't turn on sunset if you can. Like just drive down Las Vegas Boulevard, and I wouldn't go near the Eastern at all because you could get trapped. So don't do that. Um, if you're just going to drive to see what you could see, but you don't want to get caught up in the traffic. It's too hot. And your car overheats, especially if a car like mine. Mine overheats. I'm only kidding. It doesn't overheat. Um, but in any event, uh, we had a lot of stuff going on this week with the president of the United States telling the American people and the people around the world if his son is found guilty, he's not going to give him a reprieve. He's not going to pardon him. What do you think of that? Anybody out there listening to this? Give us a call. Let us know what you think, because I know what I think. I think that's I think that's a little white lie. I think he's going to pardon his kid. If his kid gets found guilty, he's not going to jail. That's for sure. So, and he's going to get pardoned for the whatever. If they find him guilty, they'll have to erase that. And I mean, that's what I would do for my kid, if it was possible. Um, but I'm a little different than the Biden, Joe Biden. I'm different than him. So I beat my kids a lot. My children. I beat them. It wasn't like he never beat his kids. But I beat little Franny and Kyle. I was going to call them up. I just talked to Franny. He's such a character, my son Franny. He's in madly in love, Kyle. So he has no time for his family at all. You know how that is. You were young once, right? You fell in love, and all you could see was this beautiful girl. You dreamed about her, and that's my son Kyle. God bless his little heart, and I'm happy for him. He deserves it. He's a good kid, and so is Franny. Franny, you know what? I didn't torture. I'm just going to talk about them just for a minute. I didn't torture my kids about getting a job and what you want to do and you should do this or you should do that. I mean, I recommended some things. Naturally, they didn't listen to a word I said, but I did recommend not some things, maybe two things each. Uh, that I thought would really be good. But naturally, they didn't do that. They did their own things. But you know what's funny? Um, Kids have a way of figuring it out and finding their own way to what they want to do. And Franny did, he wanted to, he decided he wanted to be a real estate agent. Now, this was 2 years ago or so. And he got his license, lickety split. He's such a smart kid. He really is. And he just boom, studied and went and took the test, passed. And he didn't like it. He went through all the motions with brokers and all that stuff. And he came to me, he said, Dad, I don't really like this. I said, well, what is it you don't like? Making money? He said, nah, I don't like, you got to kind of tell people, they're this or tell people that. Sometimes it's not really true. I said, what do you mean it's not true? He said, well, sometimes you got to, if you tell somebody their house is going to be worth so much and then it isn't. I said, well, that's not your fault. He said, yeah, I know, but that's a rule of thumb, you do that. He said, and I don't like that. I said, okay, Mr. Honesty. Well, do something else. Stay with the selling the carpet. And which he helps me with that. So that's exactly what he did. He he helped me with that. He stopped selling. He stopped trying to be a real estate agent. So about I don't know, 3 months ago or so, 4 months ago, he comes back to me and he said, Dad, I want to be a real estate agent again. I was really thinking about that and a pilot. I said, I said, well, if you sell enough houses, you could probably become a pilot real easy. So he said, I said, how many hours do they need now? He said like 1,000 or something. I said, what? I said, it's 40 hours. He said, no, you're wrong. I said, okay, I'm wrong. It's what it was. I don't know. Maybe he changed it. But in any event, he got his license again. All he had to do was retake the test, which was for him easy. For me, I'd have been there 9 times, but he took the test, passed it, and he just got the license last week. So he's very excited about that. And he's already got a house. He's under contract. So he's doing pretty good, this young boy. And I told him that. I said, Franny, when you wait and decide what you want to do, and you really get an idea of what you want to do, you'll excel in it because you want to do it. And anytime somebody wants to do something, they're going to do it pretty well. It's not they're not going to they're not going to be kind of halfy about it. You know what I mean? They're going to put effort in it, and they're going to enjoy doing it. And so you're going to enjoy it, which he is. He is doing it, but he is back on that pilot kick. He wants to learn how to fly. So he called them up and he said to me, "Oh, you were right about the 40 hours." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "I'm right about a lot of things, Fran. You just don't believe me." But that's what happens with fathers and sons. But I said, "But you don't want you need to get a twin engine, and then you need to get a jet license. Are you talking about commercial flying, right?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, you can go to Embry-Riddle, and that's where your sister went, and they have the simulators, and that teach you how to fly a jet. Cost a few bucks, but." He said, "They probably have them here, Dad." I said, "Yeah, they probably do have them here. I'm sure they do. But you don't ever have to get in a jet. You can, when you do, if you fly 757, if they have simulators for a 757 or 737, whatever they have, you'll be able to get in it and fly it because it's going to be identical, and everything is going to be the same. Uh, but you got to get past the single engine plane. That's the scary one. If you've never done that, which I told his sister, I told Lisa, I said, when you get in a single engine plane, you're right in front of the windshield, and the pilot is next to you, and it's elbow to elbow. It's real tight quarters, and the engine is right there in the front, very noisy, and it's scary. I said, "So you sure you want?" "Yeah, I want to do that." That's what she said. "I want to do it." So that's how we got here. Actually, that's how we got to Vegas from Philadelphia, because she wanted to go to Embry-Riddle, and she wanted to go to Daytona, Embry-Riddle, and Daytona Beach. And I said that's not going to happen. But there's another one up in Arizona. I said that's more like it, and so that's where she went. And she flew in a single engine prop plane and decided that that was not for her. That was not for her. And it's not for everybody. And I told that to Franny. I said, "Fran, I've flown in them quite a few times, flying back and forth different places, uh, and it never really bothered me, but it could bother you, maybe it would." I said, "But that's not a big deal, if you don't like it, you just don't do it. That's so good. Continue doing what you're doing with the real estate. Real estate's going to come back, and you know, I, being an optimist that I am, we need a new president because the president we have is not doing anything that's going to make any sense for people. The average low income guy, the low middle class guy, the upper middle class guy is getting murdered. I mean, really, truly murdered, and they're not making enough money to really live their life. So we need a new president. We need somebody that's going to work for the American people, and there are people out there that'll do it, uh, and I'm sure we're going to get one. I'm sure that uh, after November and then January, we'll have a new president, and I'm looking forward to that because just the idea of every day, you listen to the television or to a radio. I was watching Fox News, or I don't think it was Fox, I think it was YouTube, and they had a fellow on, real estate guy, and he was talking about how the houses have went up in less than 4 years. Houses have went up 40%, and they had a guy on. They asked him about his home. He said, "Well, I bought my home in 2018." And he said, "And if I bought that house today," he said, I bought it in 2018 and I pay 2,200 a month. You're not going to believe this, Justin, what I'm going to say. He said, "If I bought that same house today, it would cost me close to 6,000 a month for the same house." Now, That's insanity. Now, he didn't say what he paid for the house, but apparently it was a nice house. If he bought it in 2018, and he was paying 2,300 a month, 2,200 a month, whatever it was a nice big home. But young people, they can't afford this. And the college, I think the college kids are the ones that understand. They're looking and they're saying, I'm never going to be able to afford anything. You got me in $100,000, $200,000 worth of debt just to go to college. So I come out of college, I'm already in debt for 200,000. And then to go buy a house, it's going to be another 400,000. I'm in debt for $1 million before I turn 30. How am I going to survive? Well, you can't survive. That's the realization of it. You can't survive on it. So you have a fella that says there's only three ways out of this. And this is what the government has to do. You have to get back to realistic mortgages. So you got to get the mortgage down to 3.5% again. Right now it's 7 if you got good credit, and above, way above if you don't, and you have a pile of money to put down. So he said, so that's the only way. He said, but when you do that, that means that we're going to have a deep recession to get those mortgages down. He said, because the only other ways you can do it is to, um, you have to double the price of home, let the homes double, and then pay people more money so they can afford what you're paying. But that's insane because how much money can you pay people? So that's not going to work. The only thing that's going to work is that we have to get the mortgage rate down, which is what it was. This should have never happened. What happened should have never happened. Nobody should have been able to walk in and do what our president did. That he just destroyed everything. I mean, everything. Can't get a gallon of gas for less than $4. I mean, it's insane. They talk about the $3.20 and all. That's all nonsense. I don't know where that's at. Jersey, maybe. It's certainly not in Nevada. Certainly not in California. Over here you pay $5 a gallon for gas. You got a nice car. You got to put high test in it. Well, get ready because you're going to pay 5.50, 5.60 a gallon. Some places 5.90. Go get Citgo gas. Go get Shell. Go get a good brand name gas, and you're going to see what you're going to pay for it. That's here. If you were in California, and we're in California, you're paying $7, $8 a gallon. That's insanity. It's crazy. Excuse me. Especially when, you know, almost less than 4 years ago, it was nowhere near that. Somebody walks in. Jeez. Somebody walks into the White House and changes everything around, and you got a serious problem. People don't have the money. And then, what he's doing is all these people he's allowed into the country. I mean, who does something like that? How do you pay for that? Who could pay for it? And what's happening now? Look, watch the TV and go on some of the foreign news and see what the foreign people are doing over there. They're getting rid of all those people that they brought in, all the illegals that they brought in that were trying to get into these different countries in Germany and Italy, France, all these little countries over there. They're getting rid of them, putting them on ships and planes. Go back to where you came from because they can't afford it. A lot of things they can't afford. They can't afford the cost of it, and they can't afford the corruption. They can't afford the murder and the maiming that they do to people. I mean, these people. You have to understand what these people are and where they came from. You got people coming from all over the world that have had nothing in their life. They haven't had a roll of toilet paper. If I say that on the air, which is crazy, do you know how many people down in Central America and South America don't have toilet paper? Serious, I'm serious. Because they're so poor. It's not that they don't know about it; they can't afford it. They're so poor. Of course they want to come here. This is heaven for them. Can't blame them. But you know, a country can't take in 15, 20 million people. Can't open the doors and say, "Well, here, come on, bring 20 million people in here." When you have homeless all over the country, you got people sitting on sidewalks in hallways, thousands and thousands. Well, actually, there are millions, millions of them. There are millions of them. How nuts is that? Nobody comes out and says that, but that's the truth. As a matter of fact, when you get a chance, Justin, look up how many millions of look up how many millions of homeless are there out there. Let's find out. And there are millions, not a million, millions. And they have no homes. They have no money, even though the government gives them money. The government gives them some kind of a food stamp or card, and you know which they should. They're so in trouble with alcohol and drugs that they can't shake it. That no matter what you give them, they spend it, they blow it, and they just continue on where they're at, and it's not going to change. You can't change that. And I grew up in a neighborhood. There are a lot of alcoholics, and you would see them all the time. They would take them off the street. You would see them being taken off the street, and 6 months later or 90 days later, whatever it was, you'd see them back again. They'd be clean as a whistle, clean shaved, nice clothes on, and they'd be walking down the street like everybody else is going to work. You know, you see him 4 days later, he's laying on the sidewalk with a bottle of wine. I'm not kidding about that. That's the truth.
150.
100, what?
150 million
No.
in the world.
Oh, 150 million in the world. Yeah, I just wanted the United States, but
653,000
650
as of 2022.
as of 2022. Well, we know the president added a whole bunch more onto that. Close to 750,000 people in 2022. How crazy is that? And there's no hospitals for them. You know, you drive down the street, you see these poor people. Half of them are crazy, and you know you're supposed to take them to a hospital, a psychiatric hospital, where they can be evaluated and find out what their problem is. You know, some of them have or schizophrenic, very dangerous, very, very dangerous. They have to be monitored, and they truly do. Some are mild, but they can snap in a minute. I had an uncle that was a schizophrenic. Now, it was in his family. He wasn't really a blood uncle, but my grandmother did adopt him as a kid because it was her girlfriend's, it was her girlfriend. And she had him. She got very, very sick and she passed away. And he was only like 2 or 3 months old. And my grandmother adopted him. So he was my uncle. Naturally, I grew up with him as an uncle. And the idea is that what I'm explaining is that there are people that really need help. Sammy needed help, and it didn't hit him till, well, you know, you talk to people say, well, he was all always a little goofy, but he wasn't what I saw when I was 22, 23, 24. He totally changed. I mean, it really started to hit him, and he had just gotten married. He had a little baby. He had a step baby, Terry, and Barbara, his wife, was very nice, and but she couldn't handle him anymore. He was totally out of line, and he's robbing, stealing, and getting in fights, and well, he ended up at my mother's, and my mother had a bar and restaurant, and it was like I think it was 4 stories high. You know, it was a big building. So she, you know, he had a room. You know, she let him stay there, and she gave him a room and let him eat there. And you know, he lived there. You know, he was my uncle. Well, what's he do? She gave him the whole upstairs, the whole attic. Oh God. He's throwing the air conditioners out the window. You know, you have the air conditioners in the window. He's dropping them out the window. Trying to drop them on somebody's head. I don't know, but uh, you know, when I got home and I saw that, you know, I had a talk with him. Um, didn't go anywhere because I don't know. I can't say if it was close to this though. My mother had a drive, some kind of a drive, whether it was for muscular dystrophy or whatever it was, and she had so much money on the bar. Uh, you know, it was a piece of paper, and you put your name on it. You put whatever it is, $1, $5, $10 on it, and she had them. Her whole back bar was full of it, up and down, everywhere. And he stole the money on a Sunday night, and I came, I came in, and he was coming in from the bar. Now the bar was closed on Sundays, but and that side door into the bar was always locked. But he was in the bar, and he came as I would. There was a flight of steps that went upstairs. I came in the side door, and I started to go up the stairs, and he came out of the bar. I said, "What are you doing?" You know, to him, and he just like ignored me and went right out the side door, and gone. So I didn't think nothing then. I just kind of went back. You know, I walked down the steps, a couple of steps, and I looked out, and he was running down Catherine Street. So I went back in and I opened up the bar door, you know, and I looked in and walked in, and there's all the papers that the dollars were on all over the place. So he robbed all the money. Schizophrenia. You know, they do goofy things. Well, what I did was I grabbed a hold of him a couple of days later, and I told him, I said, listen, we gotta have a doctor look at you because you got problems, Unc, and I don't want to see you getting hurt. I don't want to see you go to jail or anything. And we had already got him out of jail. I would tell you a story about that. You probably wouldn't believe it, but the warden called us to tell us to come get him. Could you imagine the warden calls and tells you, come get this guy out of my prison? That was Holmesburg Prison in Philadelphia. That is no lie because he was so out of his mind. But the warden knew that he was a sick man. He didn't belong there. You know, he didn't belong there. And that wasn't that long. I think maybe that's when my mother let him stay at the bar. I'm not sure, but um, I got him. He listened to me. I took him to Pennsylvania Hospital, to Pensy. I took him there, and they uh, they evaluated him with me right there. Uh, was a psychiatrist spoke to him, and he said to Sammy and me, he said, Sammy, you should allow me to give you some medications and stay here. We can't make you stay here, but if you stay here for 30 days, we're going to get you back on your feet. And I'm going to tell you something. He had a look on him, Justin. He had a look, his eyes, when he looked at, he looked at the guy, then he looked at me. And I'm telling you, if looks could kill, that saying, if looks could kill, I knew what that meant then, because he wanted to kill me. But he listened to me, and he stayed. He stayed, and they put him on Thorazine right away. Thorazine is some serious. Well, it's a serious drug. It'll calm you right down. That's what it does. I mean, but if it's too strong, it calms you too much. You know, you can't maneuver, and that's what was happening to him. But maybe they were doing it knowing that he was dangerous, which is what he was. He was dangerous. In any event, what I was talking about is you have, well, hundreds of thousands of people like my uncle. It's terrible. It's a shame. Uh, they do crazy things, and you don't, the sad part is you don't expect it. Like you don't expect it. I mean, they could be sitting next to you and you could be having dinner with them and pick up a knife up and stab you in the chest. I'm not kidding. And because they're not, their mind is somewhere else. They're hearing a voice or they're thinking you're somebody else. And uh, who knows what's in their head? I mean, I don't know what's in their head, but it's not good. I can tell you that. And, uh, and it's sad. To me, it's sad. I don't like to see anybody that's got some kind of a disability, and that's what that is. I grew up with an aunt that had a disability. I grew up with my cousin; she had a disability, and both of them had polio. One was worse than the other. But what I meant by that is my aunt was much worse than my cousin Mary Jane. Um, it didn't change the fact that they both had it, and I lived with them, and it was sad. And I can remember my aunt saying, uh, walking with my aunt down the street, and somebody doing something that they shouldn't be doing, and or listening to a radio, and something bad happened. Somebody got robbed or somebody got mugged or whatever, and she would say, "This is my aunt Betty." She would say how sad it was that people would do this. They have everything in the world. She said, I'm crippled because she was. Her leg was crippled, her arm was crippled. She said, I can't do these things that they could do. And I never, and she said, and I never would. They don't know how lucky they are that they have the ability to do whatever. And that's when you talk about homeless street people, they're not all disabled. A lot of them are just on drugs. And they could kick it. But what they can't kick, which we'll get back to the president's son, you can't kick a habit,
Italian night.
whether it's a drug habit or a um, alcohol. It is so hard to do, and I'm not saying you can't stop. You can,
Yeah.
but if you talk to anybody that's
Yeah.
an alcoholic or a drug addict, and they're honest with you, they're going to tell you, I was a drug addict, I was an alcoholic. I can't Me? I can't I can't have that again. I can't take another drink because I won't stop. I can't take any drugs because I won't stop. That's the difference. And that's why people that get addicted, they're addicted. There's no such thing as, oh, I'm not this anymore. Good afternoon, Fran. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Fran. It's Denise. How are you?
Oh, this is my California Denise.
You got it.
How's my
The one and only.
How's my California girl?
Great. She's absolutely great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a birthday coming up. Yesterday, I met the producer that's going to do, we had dinner and we're getting the whole audiobook laid out and couldn't be better.
Oh God bless you, kid. God bless you. And
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm just just trying to get things straightened out. I mean, I'm not. I don't have the show straight yet. I just don't, and it's got me really bugged. I'm going to be working on something in the next week or two without getting into it right now. But
Sure.
I just everything that I was trying to do, I couldn't do the right way. So I'm going to back up, and we're going to try to redo this whole thing the right way, and and then we'll see what happens. But in any event, I mean everything's fine. I mean it just uh, I'm on the air. I'm doing what I want to do. I talk a little bit about the Italian American program, uh, but I don't talk about it as much as I'd like, and there are reasons for that, and
Mhm.
which I'm not going to get into that either. But there are reasons for it, and
Mhm.
but what we need to do is we need to. It's called regrouping. You know what that? You know that better than anybody.
Absolutely.
You
I
got
know regrouping.
Yeah. You got to stop and just put
You
everything
got to
down.
tear it down to build it
Yep,
up.
that's
If
it.
you
That's
know.
that's you got it, babe. That's exactly right. So now I called some old people. Yesterday, actually, I got a call from one of my old people that worked for me or worked for me originally. It was very good. And then I made a call. I got to meet with them Tuesday. And then I put a call into Louisiana for Emily. She's been with me the same thing. It's almost 3 years. And I told Emily well, she already has an idea. I just finished it. And she said, great, get with him and I'll call you tomorrow or Tuesday because I got to meet him on Tuesday. And we'll go over some stuff. And that's it. I mean, the idea is, listen, the idea is great. The more I think about who wouldn't like to learn about their heritage? Who doesn't want to know that? And especially if you got an Italian heritage where that's another thing I want to do. I was laughing myself the last couple of days. If I got to put it down on paper though, all the things that the Italians have done from 25 BC to now, I'll need 2 pieces of paper and typing on it, because they've done everything. They've done so many things.
You're going to run out of paper.
Yeah, I mean, but that's okay. See, I kind of
But
know.
that's what I mean. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing, and all I wanted to do was, and still want to do it, and I'm going to do it one way or another, is introduce this heritage to these younger kids, these college kids and school kids, that they should know their backgrounds. They absolutely should know
Exactly.
it. And even American kids should know what the Italians have brought to the world, and they should be proud
Exactly.
to have them as a friend, because they are friends.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
but so that's where I'm going with it, D. I'm just biding my time a little bit here. It's not going to take long, probably 2 weeks. I'll be doing something a little different. That's all it's going to take, I think. And then we'll see. Then we're going to see. Now, how about you?
Well, I was thinking about you this week, and then last night, this global producer, Jean-Va, I was telling him about you in the program and telling him things like that. And, we're laying out. I'm going into the studio in July.
Right.
And I'm going to lay the book down, and, we're going to put it together. And between now and then, I'm directing people to my website where they can buy autographed books, direct. And, I just know that I'm getting a lot of great feedback. So, I just put one foot in front of the other, and that's the way we have to do it.
Well,
And I told him that I wanted to get some stuff, information to you, and I told him about you and everything, and we were having a good time talking about it.
good. I'm very happy, and it makes me feel good that you think about me that way. It does. And
No, I do. Yeah.
well, what we're going to do, all the things I wanted to do, D, I couldn't do. Because so many goofy things were happening. I couldn't get it done the way I wanted to. But now that I've changed some things, and I have, I'm not a different direction. The show will not change at all. Everything that I want to do with the show, it's how I'm going to go about doing the show. And I'm bringing in some different people. That's all. I need help. I needed help, and I just didn't do it right. But that's okay. You live and you learn. And
Well, hey, you're designing it differently, and when you design it differently, divine design comes in.
right, divine design. I like that. Divine
That's
design.
what I call it. Yep, divine design.
Divine design. I like that, D. Yeah. So,
Debson keeps me going.
well, good. I'm glad everything's working for you. But you know what? It's working for me too. Because I came to a realization a few weeks back. I just said, why am I killing myself worrying about this? Just redo it. But it was hard for me to do
Exactly.
that. It was hard for me to say, no, I'm going to stop and redo it. It was hard for me to do that. But then I finally just said, well, I am. I'm going to do it. And because then you have to, you got all these new things you have to do again. You know what I mean? That you thought you had
Yeah.
already done, but you didn't
Mhm.
because for whatever reasons it didn't work. So now you have to regroup and redo it. And but this
I
time,
totally get it.
yeah, this time,
When I get in a place like that, I know this sounds crazy, but I just pass my tears over to the big God. And I
Yeah,
tell
well,
them, here, take it, you
you
know,
know.
but sometimes we're all human, so we try to battle with it ourselves.
Yes, that's exactly true what you just said. And then in the end, you end up turning it over to him anyway, and the blessed
Exactly.
mother.
Exactly. Serious.
Yeah, for sure. So that's where I'm at, and I again, I was doing stuff with my son, helping him and doing stuff with him, and uh, I'm enjoying that because he's finding his way, and I like that, and I just have a good time with him. I really just have a good time with my son. I had
Well,
like
that's good.
I did with the other one too, but he was smaller and he was he was a little kid. But now he's madly in love at 25, and he doesn't have time for anybody in his family. So just,
Those were the days.
yeah, those were the days. You got that right. Yeah, I'll be going. I'm going out, Mom. She said, well, what time are you coming back? Well, I'm not sure, but I'll let you know. And 4 days later,
All right. Well, I'm glad I just checked in,
So
and we got this chance to talk.
yeah, so am I, darling. And I'll get back with you next week. I'll let you know how the week went because
Yeah.
I gotta get with some people, and we're going to get some stuff done, and then we're gonna bring you into the project.
All right. Well, last night was my kickoff of my birthday week, so I'm already in a celebratory manner.
Well, happy birthday, darling.
Thank you. And this year is going to be the best of any year. That's every year. I just say that.
Well, the year's not over. The year is just still here.
No, the year's just beginning.
So
Mine is
it's only
my
Ju-
new year.
it's only June. You got another 6 months. So
No, I go by my birthday. Forget the new year. No, that's my perspective. I try to take on it. Well, all right, Fran. I love you much, and I'll be praying on you. I know everything is going to go really great.
It
I
will.
really do.
It will. Yes, it will. Thanks, Denise. I'll get
You're
back to you. I
welcome.
promise you I'll get back to you next weekend.
No worries. Take care. Have
Uh,
a great day. Have a great week.
All right, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
She's so sweet, Denise. She is, well, you had her up. Did you have her book and all up? And she's got a great book and great story. Really is. And it was a shame. I couldn't, see, that's what we could never do. I could never get it out to the people that I need to get this out to. And I got millions of people I could get this show out to. But, well, we didn't, but we're going to. 702-221-7283. Pick a phone up, make a phone call, live, enjoy your life. It's Sunday. And again, though, remember, Donald Trump will be down at Sunset Park. You can get down there and sweat to death, But they said, I read an article, they said he brought in, I don't know, lots and lots of water and told the people bring umbrellas, you can, have an umbrella over your head so you don't have the sun beating on you. And he also had a bunch of medic trucks. And well, that's he's a caring guy. He really he really is. The yesterday I watched the woman that came on that
I'll get you.
he somebody I should be talking to. Hello, who's this?
Hey, it's JD Paisan. How you doing?
All right, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I went down to that Trump rally about 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You can't get near the place.
No kidding.
There's cars all over the place. It is a real jumbutt, all mixed up. oh my gosh, there are people. They're parking all across the streets. There's cop cars everywhere. I just went around in a big circle, and I says, "Adios."
Well, when I came on, that's what I was telling people. Don't drive down that street or this other street. You're going to get trapped. But that many people, huh?
I think I don't know. I mean, it's just cars and people that, as far as the eye could see, it's amazing.
Oh my God.
It's amazing. And I figured even if I did find, and the cars are parking, they're parking in the dirt, they're parking on the sidewalks, they're parking everywhere. I figured even if I got there, what the heck am I going to hear or see? I'll be way out in left field.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you had to go there.
It's sad, JD. You listen to the news, these people on the news, and I'm not happy with any of them, even Fox. I'm not happy with them because they're phonies. They're all phonies. There's a bunch of millionaires pretending like they're not, and talking about us poor people, but and they act as if they're part of it. That Pete Hegseth. I was just curious. He makes $6 million a year from Fox, and he's selling his book. The last 2 weeks, they're all selling books on that show, and that, you know what? I'm not kidding. It pisses me off. That pisses me off that somebody with that kind of money, and that ain't enough for you, huh? And
well, how about if you're a news person who writes articles for the New York Times, or you're a TV person like Stephanopoulos on ABC and Costas on CNN and Jonathan Karl, and they're writing derogatory books on Trump? How could you be a non-biased news reporter, and when you're writing books against the political candidate running for president?
Well, you can't.
No.
I wanted to do something just for a second, JD. Look up 3 names. We'll do what's his name? The little squirt. It's Bob Costas. See if what his affiliation is to Republican, Democrat, or Independent. These guys are all independents. I was thinking of it this morning. I said I want to write these names down. I didn't get a chance to do it though, and go through it. Jay, just go through it. See how many of them pop up independents. All of these people on TV, because they're such pieces of crap that they don't have the guts to come out and say what's right for the American people. They just play this game.
I think Fran, what has
forth.
really turned.
Yeah, it's Costas. He's saying it. What I said, I already know. Yeah, they're a bunch of phonies. The other character, the little dwarf, that you were just mentioning, Costa. What's his name? Stephanopoulos.
Stepakopoulos, I call him.
Stepakopoulos.
Or actually, I call him Stepakopoulos.
Stepakopoulos.
Like, you remember Rush Limbaugh?
Clear Sky Resorts invites you to experience.
Yeah, we'll go with Rush. You forget him, yeah.
He had when they was talking about the transgenders and the switch hitters and everything else, he said, yeah, he went in for the chopadicchiotomy. He used to say that on the radio. Yeah, that guy had the chopadicchiotomy. I miss Rush.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're originally from Philly, right?
Yeah, I'm from downtown South Philly. Yeah.
When was the last time you're back home?
About a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I was there.
Did you go down to Geno's for steak? For a steak?
I sure did. I was at Geno's, and
I don't like that glop that they put on it, the cheese. I like the regular cheese.
Oh yeah, you gotta have regular cheese. Whiz, that's no good. That's no. Well, I mean, people like it, but I never had it. It's just regular cheese.
I actually had some good. Philly steak sandwiches right by Independence Hall, where they have the cart guys, with the street vendors.
Yeah.
And I had some real good ones there.
Well, yeah. I mean, today, it's a ribeye steak that they slice down.
Yeah.
And if you can slice down a ribeye steak, you could do it at home, and it's the same thing. You buy a ribeye steak.
You remember the joint that used to be on Pecos and Tropicana the Philly cheesesteak
Yeah,
place.
it was right there on the corner in the gas station.
They had the tasty cakes there.
Yeah, they had everything there. Yeah, they sure did.
Let me tell you a story. You know, when they first came out here 20 years ago, they sent out the tasty cakes. You know, and then they stopped it because they weren't that popular. But anyhow, I think Walmart had them or something, and I bought a whole bunch of the butterscotch and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And they were all dried out, you know, in the chocolate.
Oh
So
yeah.
I called up. Listen to this. I called up Tasty Cake in Philadelphia, and I said, you know, I've been eating them things since I'm 5 years old. I said, the ones you send out to Nevada, Las Vegas, they don't taste the same. She says, you know why? I said, why? She said, we freeze dry them and then ship them. I said,
yeah.
I'm used to having them right out of the Philly bakery.
Sure, yeah.
She said, you know what I'm going to do? Since you've been buying them for 5 years old, I'm going to FedEx a box out to you. She sent me about 15 or 18 pies and cakes, and butterscotch and chocolate overnight.
Yeah.
What a deal that was.
Well, it's a Philly girl to a Philly guy, taking care of you. You know.
Yeah, but now they got bought out. They're not the same company anymore.
No, that's the problem with all of it. These conglomerates are buying everything up, so you have no idea. You have no idea who you're buying anything from. It's horrible what they've done to the country. What these politicians have allowed, it's criminal, and it really is. It's a crime. But speaking of sandwiches, Nick's roast beef even took a hit. Nick's roast beef at 18th and Jackson. Nick's. You ever go there? You never went there?
Oh, no, I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, great. They had the best roast beefs in town, but they played around with that too. When I was there, I definitely had to go there.
Oh, the Phillies are doing real good with Harper.
Oh yeah, man, are they ever? They are. The Phillies are banging it away, boy. They're banging it away. Well, who knows? But as it gets towards the end of the season, everybody takes a dump.
Yeah. Well, I wish you get better and healthy and get your deal straightened out. Like I said,
we're going to do it. I promise you, David. JD, we're going to do it. You have a great week, my friend.
Likewise, partner. Take care.
Thank you for calling. Same here, babe. Bye-bye. You're a nice guy. All right, I know we only have 2 minutes left, right, doctor? You are an MD, aren't you? He just does this on the side for me. He's a gynecologist. He doesn't want anybody to know it, but he loves women. When he went to medical school, all those beautiful girls, he decided to, instead of be a brain surgeon, he said, I think I'm going to go for gynecology. Justin, what's that mirror there, Justin? What's that for? Oh, it's something. Oh, it's some kind of he's got this. Oh, it's a clock. Oh, okay. That's cool. It's cool. So we had a couple listeners anyway today, right? That was always good that we have a few listeners. And they're the ones we want. The ones that I spoke to today, they're the people I enjoy speaking to. I'll have them on anytime. JD, that's you, and Denise, that's you. And Jeannie, of course, our Jeannie up in Massachusetts. We love Jeannie, our Jeannie. I was going to call Jeannie today. We just didn't have the time because you were blabbing so much. And, well, I was trying to, get some awareness for the homeless and for the people that really need help, mental help. And hopefully somebody heard. Maybe some big politician in town, or future politician in town. Will hear what I said and want to do something about it. It'd be a good thing to get on TV or on the radio and start spouting if you were running for mayor or a judge or whatever. People like people that help people. Not here I am. I want to be your mayor. I'm listening to the one mayor. She was talking about, don't worry about those potholes. Just give me a call and we'll fix those potholes. I was laughing. I said, yeah, that's what we need. We need somebody to, get on the air and promise to fix the potholes. All right. It was a nice afternoon. I enjoyed it. I really did. I enjoyed it, Justin. And to my few friends that called in and my conversation, if you heard it, you weren't crazy about it, I'm sorry. But it was something I wanted to talk about, so I did. It's my show. I can do what I want, but I don't mean that being facetious now. It was just some things I wanted to talk about, and I thought needed to be said, so I said them. And as far as Trump, you should drive down here, try to take a picture of that plane. It's history. It truly is history. Not now. Next week, it's history. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Make money. Eat good food at home. Make it yourself. And enjoy your life. Because life is way too short. Bye-bye.